welcome to the first episode of Building Your Life from the Scratch. My name is Akoma Uzochukwu Paul, so welcome to my YouTube channel and stay tuned as we are going to learn and unlearn certain things. This happens to be my first video here on YouTube, so I'm going to be myself. I'm trying to be perfect, and it's affecting me, so I just have to be myself, and I believe as time goes on I will improve on that. So firstly, the first thing I want you to understand when it comes to building your life from the scratch, before we start the full-blown episode of this particular topic on building your life from the scratch, I would love you to understand something, and that is the earlier the better. I know why I'm saying this, the earlier the better, because when you start early to develop yourself, to improve yourself, to become more intentional about yourself, when you start early to put these things into place, I will tell you the truth that the earlier you begin to do that, the more organized you become over time. And this is something that I've also learned from very well. Okay, it's something that I've also learned from, because there was a point in my life I had to start putting things together. Okay, take for example, there were points in my life where you stay from morning till evening time, you've not taken your bed, and that was very bad. And I started becoming conscious of those things, because it's something that is a bad attitude. So it's something that is very bad. I know most of the guys that are watching this right now, you might relate to this, or you might be able to relate to this, in the sense that you stay from morning till 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. and you have not taken your bath and all those kind of things. So I started my intentional journey in the year 2021. 2021 was when I started my intentional journey. When I started seeing all these bad habits, I was like, no, now I need to change these things, because there will be a time in my life where even people will be disgusted by it. So I started early. I started making that decision to change all those things on time. And that was one of the best decisions of my life, because even my parents were like, bro, who's what you are seeing you doing something, you're changing. So the first thing you should understand, and mind you, this thing I'm talking about is everywhere. Like, when I'm talking about being intentional and starting early, I mean in your relationship, in your personal growth, just anything that deals with even entrepreneurship in your businesses, everything. So you need to start on time. So that's the first thing I want you to have in your mind. You have, like, the earlier the better, which means if I am to make that decision to start making my life like now, if I'm to make that decision to start developing myself now, okay, it's going to help me in the long run, which means I'm going to pass, like, I'm going to be better than some people, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So you have to understand that the earlier the better. There was a time in my life where I actually, in my family, I'm the last born, so everybody cared so much about me. I was being taken care of, and would I say it was done too much? But it was kind of like everything was done for me, while growing up. So it got to a point where I had to sit up, because I saw that I was being too lazy to even wash my own clothes. I was being too lazy to even, do one thing or the other for myself. It got to a point, even, going to school to pay for your school fees, people were doing that for me. That's my siblings were doing that for me. And that was kind of keeping me in a very bad position. It's not like they were doing the wrong thing. No, it's just that there comes a time where, or there will be a time where they might not be around to do all those things. And does it mean I'm going to be stranded or I'm going to be frustrated mere trying to do that? Possibly I might not even know how to do that. So I had to take it into consideration and tell myself that I needed to start stepping up, take responsibility, do things, know how it is done, go through the process. I had to start putting myself in those uncomfortable situations, to get something done for myself. So okay, there were very stupid things I found out that I couldn't do, or like without, oh God, if I start talking about them, they are not like they are so bad, but I had to start, being intentional about myself, about my own personal hygiene, washing my clothes, arranging my room, making sure my room is kept clean, uh, going for, giving myself taxes to do and carrying out and executing those taxes. So it took a very long time for me to start building myself from the scratch, trying to now become like filling the blanks of those people who always carried me along, in doing these things. So I started putting myself in those positions. And I thank God that I did that, because if I didn't do that, maybe even now I would still be struggling with doing some certain things. So that is why I say the earlier the better. So it means that the earlier I do those things, I mature faster. Do you understand? Because I'm now being responsible for the things around me. I'm being responsible for my environment. I'm being responsible for one person or another person. I'm being responsible for myself as well. So it's something that is that we should actually put into consideration. Now, you should understand that early intentionality grows self-awareness, which most likely is to lead to development in maturity. Okay, so this means that the more conscious you become about your environment, the more conscious you become about your body, that is yourself, the more conscious you become about these things, the more you are likely to make wiser decisions. Do you understand? So I'm going to teach us three major consciousness that we should always have when we're building our life from scratch. So see you in the next video. Please click the subscribe button. This is just my first video on YouTube, and I want you to click the subscribe button. You will learn a lot. Okay, so this is just my advice to you before you start the episode, and I believe you will learn so much. So be intentional, and you will likely be the next international hot cake. God bless you.